My mom got the stand about 12 years ago. I've been here full-time for 5 years. She let me kind of take it over about 3.5 years ago. I've just been running with it ever since. We bring in almost all of the fish that we buy whole and have it filleted in-house by our expert fish cutter. We have the widest variety of fresh fish and seafood in Northeast Ohio. Fish from the Pacific, fish from the Atlantic. You get it flown in from Miami, trucks in from Boston, flights in from Seattle and Alaska. We do a really nice selection of shellfish, Prince Edward Island mussels, hard shell clams from Rhode Island, oysters from the West Coast and the East Coast. Well, I think this place is like the cultural center of this city. All walks of life here, you can meet everybody. Oh, I hope it's much the same as the last 100. You know, keep it traditional public market, because you know this building will be standing in 100 years. I'm Tom McIntyre, and welcome to Kate's Fish.
The Meet the Vendor series is brought to you by Ohio City Inc. and the City of Cleveland. Click here to sign up for a newsletter that will keep you up to date on the Westside Market's year-long centennial celebration and all the other great things happening at the Westside Market.
Listen up, Cleveland. Listen up, Cleveland.
Welcome to Listen Up Cleveland. I'm your host, Leah Haslage. In studio with me today is R&B soul singer Alvin Frazier. Welcome, Alvin, to Listen Up Cleveland.
Hey, Leah, how are you?
I'm great. I am obsessed with listening to your music right now. Let me tell you, I cannot get enough of it.
Oh, wow.
I know you have a new album out, which we'll talk about later.
Okay.
But for people that may not know about you and stuff, you play at Nighttown, you play in Cleveland Heights and Shaker a lot. Mm-hmm. Tell us how you got started. How'd you get to that point?
Going back, okay, let me tell you the short version of the story. I grew up in a musical household. My father was a singer as well. And
a lead singer, right?
A lead singer, exactly. A lead singer of a soul group here in town. And, you know, they would come by the house to rehearse. And so I was there, you know, being a little kid, and they would stand in a circle in the living room and kind of work on harmony parts, and I'll be between my dad's legs looking up and taking it all in. And then slowly but surely I began to have an interest myself, you know, starting to learn how to sing myself, and realize that I love music as well. So throughout the years, I taught myself to play instruments. My dad wasn't a musician, but I ended up becoming one, teaching myself to play piano, bass, guitar, drums, and learning how to do some songwriting. And over the years, formed a few groups in high school, and actually elementary school, I'm sorry. And throughout high school, I still continued to do music. Eventually getting out of school, still doing music. And I guess to fast forward a little bit past that, formed a couple of other bands on the jazz side as well as vocals. So I've had a pretty well-rounded journey in music thus far.
Now, being self-taught in music, is that what led to you to decide just to have your own studio, to do your own albums instead of going elsewhere?
Yes, I think sometime a long time ago, either subconsciously or consciously, I figured that it would probably be best that I learn how to play different instruments.
Right.
Because I didn't know then as a child that one day that I would have my own studio yet, but it came in handy because as musicians we have very demanding schedules, and sometimes you just can't get everybody together.
Right.
But learning how to play more than one instrument gave me the opportunity to be able to record the parts on my own. And when I began to get my own studio, probably I got my first real piece of recording equipment when I was about 15.
Oh, wow.
I begged my mom, I begged my mother, like, okay, it's a multi-track recorder, please, please. I don't want a game system. I want this to work. My birthday, so my mom bought it for me, and that was kind of like when I began my career of having my own recording studio equipment.
So you were serious early on.
Very serious early on.
Now, with playing different instruments, is that what led to you to get involved in these other groups? Because you have the Joshua Trio, the Concept, you have the a cappella group.
Yes, at one point I guess I had done a lot of singing most of my life, and I got to a point maybe about 12 years ago that I wanted to get into more jazz, get into more instrumental music. So I formed my first group then, was a group called In This Image, which is kind of like an inspirational jazz group. And then we did that for about 2 or 3 years. And I formed the Joshua Trio, which was a little bit more of a sophisticated group. And that really was where I was able to expand my musical abilities on the jazz end. And we've been together almost 9 years now come March.
Oh, wow.
Formed a concept a couple years ago. So I kind of get a chance to enjoy both worlds as a musician, as a guitarist, as a bass player, and then as a vocalist when I'm doing my solo music.
It breaks it up and keeps it fresh for you
Exactly,
then.
exactly.
Now, something interesting that I read about you is you became a born-again Christian at 21.
Yes, I did.
What led to that?
I was just going through some transitions in life at that time. Didn't really grow up in church coming up. Went to Catholic school, but not really so much. You know, church here and there, Easter,
Yeah.
you know, special occasion things, and kind of went through the tough knucklehead stage in junior high school, and got to high school early years and realized that I was just searching for something more. That I felt like my life had more purpose than the things I was getting into at that time. And so I kind of started looking for some spiritual enlightenment. Well, I was on another path for going towards the direction of another faith, and then the Lord began to call me. And of course, I had fought it for a while. And as a result of that, I took some hard knocks to get my attention. But he did get my attention at the end. And then I gave my life to the Lord on New Year's Eve of '95.
Wow.
Yeah.
So faith then does play a huge role in your music now.
Yes.
Because you have Love and Faith Volumes 1 and now Volume 2. So what led to that then?
Well, interestingly enough, when I got saved in 1995, I was writing a lot of contemporary gospel music and enjoying that. I was really having a great time with that. And I had written a couple of songs that kind of didn't fit the other music I was doing. They were dealing with kind of like love relationships, but still had a faith element. And at that time in the 90s, I'm like, okay, this is crazy, because I've always been a lover of R&B soul because I grew up on that. But I was kind of torn, like, okay, well, I'm doing music on this side now, but I still would write a few R&B songs here and there that I would want to get out to some other artists. But it was like, well, I like to sing about love as well. So I kind of just pushed that to the back of my mind and continued to do what I was doing. But eventually I got the vision to go with the Love and Faith. And I wasn't initially planning to do an album of my own as a solo artist, because I was always a part of a group and I was always kind of shy, even though I might have been a lead singer, but just like your name on the marquee or your name, I didn't feel like I was ready for that. But you know, the time came, the vision for that album came about. I had 2 songs I had written about 6 years before that I put aside that kind of really started that whole movement.
All right, well, when we come back to Listen Up Cleveland, we're going to learn more about Alvin Frazier and the love side of Love and Faith. So stay tuned right here on Listen Up Cleveland.
Say, girl, pack a bag so we can get away, girl, and talk about the things that we've been going through, just me and you. Oh, yeah. I took the kids to your mama's house. She said she watched them for the weekend while we worked this out, 'cause we really need some time to get this right. This is for all the times that we lie awake in bed at night, trying to figure out how to stay in love, and that is something to remember. We fight and fuss, and the Lord is where we place our trust. We promise we will always stay in love. That's how we keep it all together. We can't afford to give in.
Some say Cleveland has fallen on hard times. Some say it won't get back up again. But we know better. We've seen the crews breaking down walls, heard the whispers of excitement, caught a glimpse of the light in people's eyes when they talk about what's to come. This town will not be forgotten nor left behind. It'll never stop reinventing itself. Cleveland rages, it rocks, and it rallies, showing the world what we already know.
Listen up, Cleveland.
Welcome back to Listen Up Cleveland. I have Alvin Frazier here in studio. So Alvin, before we get to the love part of Love and Faith, you are not just a Cleveland artist, you are actually international now. You have a song on the UK charts.
Yes. There's a new single off my new album called Something to Remember, featuring Cassandra. And it's been really doing well internationally.
Congratulations, that's huge.
Thank you. It was 13 last week, and I found out yesterday it was at 11 now on the UK Soul chart. So it's working its way up. We're pushing for number one, you know.
And you actually have toured East Asia with the group.
Yes, I have. And
Tell us about that.
I had a chance to tour East Asia in 2008 along with a smooth jazz artist, saxophonist by the name of Shelby Brown out of Detroit. And we got together and we toured with the AFE there. And it gave us a chance to tour all throughout Japan, South Korea, Singapore. We spent a few days on an island called Diego Garcia, which was amazing there. It was a life-changing experience, to say the least.
Did you bring a lot back from that experience back home into your work since then?
Definitely. When you get a chance to connect with people of different origin, like we were over there, and the Japanese are they're beautiful people, the South Koreans as well. They embrace the music very strongly. Matter of fact, before I went on tour, I already had a Japanese fan base forming before we even left for that tour. And they're very loyal fans, and they've actually definitely been a strong force this time around with the new album along with the UK. But I think it changes. You having a chance to meet some of the soldiers that were stationed overseas as well and connect with them and just hear some of their stories. It was definitely a life-changing experience I'll never forget.
That's so great. What do you think of the Cleveland music scene?
Cleveland music scene is, I think, brimming over with talent. A lot of talent here. I have a lot of friends who are just amazing at what they do. I would love just to see more artists be able to break out of the Cleveland scene. I think that the issues that we have at times is just sometimes you have people who are not happy to see you do well, and I hear those stories a lot. Thankfully, I haven't experienced out of it by God's grace, but you know, it exists, I'm sure. And I hear a lot of stories from friends where it's kind of just a lot of, everyone wants to be their own island, so to speak,
right,
as opposed to working together.
I think the musicians collaborating and cohesive and happy for each other.
Right, because if we work together more, then there's more that we can accomplish. So, you know, there are quite a few of us who do get that concept, and then there's quite a few of us who haven't quite grasped it yet.
How's your dad feel about you following in his footsteps?
My dad's passed on, but he when during the years that he was still with us, he was very excited because he saw, of course, when I was very young, that I had the interest in music, and he would kind of teach me things like, I love harmony. My dad was big on harmony. And so at the time as a kid, I wasn't in love with the concept of having to sing and harmonize with my dad when I wanted to be outside doing something else sometime. But those are times I look back and cherish now, and that have been very beneficial to my career with working with other artists or just things that I've done with myself. So he was very excited in those early years when he saw me begin to develop a love for music.
Do you feel his influence when you're writing or performing now?
I do. I try to, at this point, I dedicate my performances and things to my dad and my mom as well. My mother passed on a few months ago.
But, sorry for your loss.
Oh, thank you. And they were both very supportive of the music. So at this point now, I'm able to push forward and dedicate a lot of my performances to them, you know, because they're the reason why, part of the reason why I do what I do.
Well, to the love part of Love and Faith, I'm sure the ladies watching this right now would love to know.
Okay.
Is there someone that you're in love with right now? Do you have love in your life?
I have love in my life, but I'm not in a relationship at the moment. But I think when I write about love, you write about the things that you've experienced or that you hope to experience. And I try to channel that into the songs that I write about.
Have you had a lot of heartbreak influencing that?
I've had my share of heartbreak, and I've also ashamedly have been also the cause of heartbreak in my life
He admits
journey.
it.
You know, so just really being honest. But writing is very therapeutic because it allows you to open and share places in your heart that sometimes you're not able to say. I remember something that Stevie Wonder said some years ago about how we as songwriters are able to communicate for people what they may not be able to say. And I try to kind of utilize that as part of my creed as well with some of the things that I write about and sing about.
Well, here is the newest album, Wonderful Love, Love and Faith Volume 2. How can people get their hands on the album?
You can get hands on the album from a few different places. My website, which is www.alvinfraziermusic.com. That's the #1 place. We have CD Baby, we have Amazon, iTunes, eMusic. It's all over the internet. Anywhere that you can download and purchase music, you can find it there.
Very good. All right. Well, you're going to play a little something for us on our way out.
Sure, I think I can do that.
And when we come back, thank you so much, first of all, for being here. It's been such a pleasure having you in the studio.
Thank you for having me. I enjoyed myself.
Thank you. When we come back to Listen Up Cleveland, I'm going to take you to a very amazing, awesome, can't talk more about it, downtown boutique that has anything and everything Cleveland that you would want to get. So stick around right here for more of Listen Up Cleveland here on TV 20.
Listen up, Cleveland.
Passing gas can be deadly.
Whoa, oh, something's funky.
Passing gas releases a plume of toxic vapors
Oh, honey, not in the car.
like ammonia and hydrogen cyanide. And lethal poisons that can linger even when windows are open. Kids shouldn't be exposed to secondhand smoke. Don't pass gas, take it outside.
Listen up, Cleveland.
Welcome back to Listen Up Cleveland. I'm here at one of my absolute favorite places to shop, CLE Clothing Company, located at the corner of East 4th and Euclid. And I'm here with owner Mike Kubinski. Mike, thanks for having us here.
Thanks for coming.
So now, how long has CLE Clothing Company been open?
Well, the store has been open since 2011, but the company's been around since 2008. We started selling online and printing shirts in our basement. And we've since been moved from there and grown into a much bigger business where we could have a shop downtown.
Now, before you open up the downtown store, you have a store also on Waterloo.
Yes.
Correct?
Yeah.
And it's called Native Cleveland?
Yeah, it's called Native Cleveland. It was our first store. It holds a bunch of local artists and designers. Not everything is about Cleveland, but everyone is from Cleveland.
Oh, very cool concept. But this store, it's all about Cleveland, all about Ohio love, correct?
Yes.
And now you do all the designing for all the merchandise, is that right?
I do all the designing for all the CLE Clothing merchandise, but we also carry over 30 other vendors in our store. So we have 9 other t-shirt companies. There's a bunch of designers who do wall art and wall prints. We have glassware and other jewelry and many other gifts.
What made you decide to start this store? I mean, were you just sick and tired of not seeing enough Cleveland merchandise out there? Or was there a need that you felt needed to be filled?
Well, I'm actually a professional graphic designer, and I was working, I had a day job, and I was actually doing package design. But unfortunately, I was the second designer in line, so I was delegated to the back of the labels and updating these labels for Spanish and new regulations and things like that. Things that weren't very creative.
Right.
And I needed a creative outlet, so my friends and I, we always wanted to do something like along clothing and t-shirts. So we thought some things through, and then looked around and noticed that there wasn't anything for Cleveland pride around, and Clevelanders have a lot of pride.
Yeah.
So we were like, let's come up with some concepts and see what happens, basically.
And now you offer stuff for men, women, a full range, correct?
Yes, men, women. We also just started like a kids line, so it goes from onesies until t-shirts from size 2 until 12.
All right, and we're gonna get to see some of that merchandise coming up, so stick around for more right here on Listen Up Cleveland.
Listen up, Cleveland.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Listen up, Cleveland.
Welcome back to Listen Up Cleveland. I'm here at Cleveland Clothing Company, located at the corner of East 4th and Euclid. All right, Mike, not only are there so many cool clothes for men, women, and children here, but you can help us Clevelanders get our drink on. So this is from your collection.
This has actually come from a company called Fizz Creative.
This is from Fizz?
Yeah, they create, they're actually a design agency that specializes in branding of beer and bars and etc., things like that. So they created their own Ohio Pilsner glass, and this is one of our glasses.
This has to be you guys.
Yeah, this is one of ours. We just came out with this. It's the Cleveland sports fan glass. And on the other side, it has a line, an optimistic, pessimistic line, but it says this year, next year, and lower on the glass it says, I need another beer.
I'm sure these are going to go like hotcakes.
Yeah.
These are brand new, aren't they?
Yeah, they've been going crazy so far.
It's going to be awesome for brown season. Okay, and then over here we have more sunwear. We have more for the wine drinkers.
Yeah.
Who is this by? Is this by
these are all hand sandblasted by the Blastmaster out of Brunswick, Ohio.
Okay.
Everything's creative. They put the skyline and Cleveland and different kind of typefaces.
Yeah, this is more rock and roll kind of gothic.
And then also Fizz Creative also created a glassware for stemless wine.
Very nice. Very cool. And then you guys also have books that represent pillows, stuff like that as well, correct?
Yes.
And that's over here?
Yes.
Okay.
Over to the bookshelves.
Listen up.
So the books and, of course, coffee mugs.
Yes.
While you can enjoy your book.
The reading corner. You can enjoy a nice glass of coffee or tea and sit down with a nice book. We carry a variety of Cleveland books, whether it's from the Buzzard, rock and roll history, or just general history of Cleveland.
Yeah.
There's a company that does books about various history of different streets. This one is about East 4th Street. There's also another one called, it's about Short Vincent and the nightlife that grew up there.
And do you know the history of this actual spot that you have your store in?
I do. It actually started out way back in the 1800s as the Cleveland Young Men's Club, so the YMCA. And then it moved on to be the first Woolworth building, and then department stores after that. So it has quite a history, and we're glad to bring shopping and retail back to this space. And you know,
who knew this whole time, right? And then the artwork that's around here, because you have like that wooden block piece up top. What kind of artists do you usually carry in here? Just anybody local, or
we carry
certain people?
So, you know, a variety of artists that are all local. Whether it's painting, there are a lot of graphic artists that do screen prints, as well as digital prints. We carry some photography. Anything that's creative about Cleveland and you know is cool and different and unique, we'll carry.
Well, yeah, I'm loving the Tower City pillow. I mean,
yeah.
Who does not? What Clevelander does not want this on their living room couch? Especially when they have visitors coming in from out of town. Do you have a lot of out-of-towners coming in here to shop?
We do. We grew our company online, and we're finding that our fans and customers who are out of state actually stop buying online and wait until they come home for the holidays because they want to come to our shop, and it's just really cool. It's really, you know, heartwarming, and it's fun. They like, I love you. They always come back, like they have to wait, and like I just want to come to your store and check it out.
That's a testament to what an awesome store you've created.
Yeah, thank you.
And it's been what, 2 years now?
Yeah, 2 years.
Well, congratulations, you guys.
Thank you.
And make sure you guys check out Cleveland Clothing Company right here in the corner of Euclid and East 4th, downtown Cleveland, or you can shop online at
CLEClothingCo.com.
All right, you guys. We'll see you next time on the next episode of Listen Up Cleveland. And of course, you can follow me on my blog, lifewithleah.com, for more info. Bye, guys.
First time I saw you, well, Lordy, I know there goes my heart right down the road. Feels like sunshine every time I see you. Listen up, Cleveland. Listen up, Cleveland.